back to another exciting episode of the Passion Podcast. I'm your host, Aniekeme, and I'm thrilled to have you all with us for today's episode 7 of Passion. It's been an incredible journey hosting this podcast. Not only have I had the pleasure of guiding a discussion as your host, I've also been a guest and also even as a co-host in this episode, in various episodes, which has always been an exciting experience whenever I'm on this show. Today, I'm very much excited. I don't know why I'm excited, but I'm excited because we have two new voice and team faces on this episode as my co-host. Joining me for the first time on the Pass It On family, Abraham and Joyce. Joyce, how are you doing?
Hello, Aniekeme. I'm doing fine, thank you. First of all, I'm so excited. This is my first time co-hosting, and I can't wait to get into it.
Thank you very much, Joyce. Talking about joining for the first time, we also have Abraham, who is co-hosting for the first time. Abraham, how are you doing today?
Yeah, thank you so much, Aniekeme. I'm doing very, very well. I'm so glad and I'm honored being here. I know that this episode is going to be awesome and it's going to be very, very educative. Thank you once again for having me here.
Yes, thank you very much, Abraham. Talking about being educated. We have here with us as a guest. I know, ladies and gentlemen, even the listeners can't wait for me to unveil the guest. We have who has been a host in our previous episodes, hosting 6 out of the 7 Patreon episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing as a guest for this special episode, Darice. Darice, how are you doing?
Hi, Aniekeme. Hi, Joycey. Hi, Abraham. Hi, Amiel. I'm very fine. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Even as a guest introduction, you are introducing yourself as a host as well. Yeah, I used to be a host. And also, Amiel joining. He was the guest of this podcast, one of these podcasts, I think episode 4. He was the guest of episode 4, joining me back on episode 7 to discuss more about Ascenta and online GLD. Welcome to the episode 7, joining Darice as guest. He will be introducing more information about the GLD and so on and so forth. He is our GLD lead. And I've been my friend too. I've been disturbing him the past one and so on about IHF family. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back to Pass It On as guest, Amiel.
Hi, Aniekeme. Hi, everybody. I'm doing very well. I'm so excited to be on this show yet again. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much yet again. Thank you, Amiel and Darice, for gracing us with your presence. I'm thrilled to dive into today's discussion. But before we do, I would like to hand over this first question to one of my co-hosts. Abraham, I know you are eager to dive into the discussion, so I have to hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, Aniekeme, for this privilege of being the first time host here. I appreciate so much. All right, so question for Amiel. Can you share with us some specific examples, as in share to the listeners, of how IHF's program have made a difference in the lives of children in the Arts Center there in Kenya and Indonesia during your stay there?
So let me start with Indonesia. In Indonesia, I was in Medan. And what IHF was doing is we were getting the children from the local areas to come for classes. And then we would also assist those who were battling with school fees and such to pay school fees for them and to pay for their education. And then they would come to the center where most of the volunteers were local volunteers teaching them. So they were at university or finished with university, and then they were coming back to teach those who are now at school at that time. And in Kenya, we were working mostly with the children from the Baringo County, but also with those from the Nakuru area. there were we had volunteers come in to help them with their learning and to also just help them with their living in every way. We had local and international volunteers. IHF paid for their schooling, their medical fees, their education, and just basically everything, parented them. I think that's the correct word to say.
Oh, wow, Amiel, I'm glad to have learned about some of your experiences in this center. Your insights are invaluable. Okay, now, so I still have more questions for you. Having worked as both an online GLD and at center GLD in the past, your wealth of experience and learning is evident. Can you share your perspective on whether you find the Art Center GLD more challenging compared to the online GLD?
I think with the Ed Center GLD, it was different because you looked at everybody in the face, you lived with everybody, and it was easier to pick up how to relate to and how to deal with. And when I say everybody, I'm talking the children, I'm talking the volunteers, and also the local workers who lived at their homes but came to the center. There was a lot more of like physical interaction in terms of we could see them, you could observe, you could read the eyes, when the words are saying something else but the eyes are saying something else, you know. So that was always much easier in terms of relating. Whereas with the online GLD, the difference is that now I'm working exclusively with adults, number one, and also I don't have that. You don't have that. We don't have that a physical presence where one can then read energies, where one can read. So we're relying on pretty much the words spoken and the energy we feel from the other person, which can sometimes lead to misunderstandings and things like that.
Oh, thank you so much, Amiel. Your perspective is really enlightening. It's evident that each role presents unique challenges and opportunities for growth over there.
Thank you very much, Abraham. In the episode, I meant, Darice, I have a question for you. You have played a vital role as the lead of the newsletter team, co-leading of social media and podcast hosts. And what specific challenges have you faced in these roles, and how were you able to overcome them?
Okay, Aniekeme, thank you for the question. Well, I think the difference, there is differences between all these roles. They are not all the same. Each role has different demands. For instance, the newsletter team require a lot of content coordination, while the social media involves quick creative thinking. So in the newsletter, I've had times where I would have to sleep very late. Say I'm productive, like if it's in the night, I can think fast and write fast and be creative. Whereas social media, it's what I already do personally. So it's like I'm not like an expert, but I know what to do already. But with the newsletter, I'm still learning on it. So I'd say that the challenge on it might be more on the newsletter, having to bring everybody. Just sometimes I'll look at the team, the chat room, and I'm like, oh my God, we have so many team members. And when it's actually time for us to work, and I'm like, oh God, where did everybody go to? So that's like, it's like that because whenever, let's say I want to assign a writing to someone and I look at the person, I'm like, oh no, I don't think this one would suit them. Or I give it to them and they're having to bug me with, oh, describe it for me. What do you want me to do? Explain. So it's like, I'm training them every time I have a new issue from Carol for them. So it's challenging and very time consuming. But I think how I've been able to overcome in the newsletter is developing strong time management and solid team collaboration framework. So now I already know the people that are really good in writing now because it's been 2 months being the lead there. And I know the people that can work with me in sending out the newsletter. I know the people that are to design the newsletter. So now I have them. So I think that's how I've been able to deal with that. For the podcast, it's really isn't that it's I actually really do like speaking. So that one wasn't it's still not a problem to me. So I think I've answered your question, have I?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I think, but it's manageable. Over to you, Jai. Thank you very much.
Darius, dear,
Hi.
you've gained a significant experience working with the online GLD. As you transition to the Art Center GLD program, what insights are you hoping to gain, and how do you think this change will benefit your work and IHF mission?
Okay. I don't know. I'm really actually I don't know. It's like positive. I don't want to use I don't like using negative. So I'd say positive and not positive. Positive in the sense that I can be able to gain deeper insight into the actual operation aspect and build connections in with the communities, and not positive in the sense that I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I would like it because I'm very selective. I don't know how, I don't know, I don't know if I'll have withdrawal. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect. But the good thing about me is that I'm always open to trying new things. So I'm actually really excited for it. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see, and hopefully when I see, I'll be able to come back and say how it is. In short, yeah, that's just the short answer I can give.
That is great. I'll be waiting for your insights when you're back with experience. Above all, it's good to stay positive all the time.
Okay, thank you very much, Darius, for that great response, and Chase for that interesting question. Over to you, Emil. Taking care of the children from different backgrounds can be challenging. I know for this as well because it was challenging for my parents too. But so tell me, in Indonesia, Kenya, and Thailand, even if you haven't been there in Thailand, how were you able to cope with that, even as a teacher, a cook, and also getting them ready for school?
Okay, so let's just remove cook as an official thing. Cook is what I did for fun because that's what I enjoy doing. But there were there was like official cooks. But with the rest of it, I think in Kenya the children were very well disciplined when it came to in the morning because they lived there, getting up and working with each other in terms of, oh, we know Amiel is always slow, so we must just make sure that he gets up, like just edge him on, as a team of children. So that made it so much easier. So there were never really challenges in that. There were times when some of the older children, which is natural. I mean, this is like natural. And I don't want to say older children, I want to say youth, because they're in high school, right? Where they would not necessarily be wanting to do schoolwork or not be wanting to do certain things. And what I preferred to use was positive reinforcement and positive support for what. So it's not that I gave things or did things every time someone did something right or something that I wanted. It's just that there would be times when I would do things for everybody else and I'd be like, but you didn't want to be part of this. And so as a result of that, you cannot get the benefit of it. And also talking. And I think that's one of the things we forget. So the first thing was always just talking, trying to get an understanding and bring an understanding, because whether you want to go to school or not, you must still go to school, unfortunately. But the fact that you don't want to go to school, let's just hear a little bit more about what that is, what the reason is, and what's happening there. in terms of classes, sometimes, and that applies in Kenya and not so much in Kenya though, because most of the children were quite comfortable with English, but we were still not coming from the same language background. So there would be areas or times where we couldn't understand each other. This was not a regular thing, but it would happen. And it would be, I can find the word in my own language, but that's not a language you know, things like that. And it also happened in Indonesia and other places that I've been. And what one does at those points, at those times, is you actually just get down to what it is that you're trying to do. There are actions you can do. There are things, you go into the mindset of whatever age that is, and then from that, try and act out, try and bring out, and you try and use stories as well to just bring to a point where all of you can agree, oh yes, that is what it is, that is what it is. With the younger children, it's always fun for me because I always believed in like, when teaching, especially when introducing English to younger children or children who are not that comfortable with English, activity was always the key for me, where you jumping around, you're moving around, you just like put your energy at the same level that a child would, and they take that energy, and suddenly you're getting the meanings come across, and the language that you're trying to introduce is built, and it just gets so exciting. You actually lose yourself in there sometimes. Okay, I lost myself sometimes in there, where it's almost like I'm one of the children, and like, I remember you're the adult, but yeah. So it's I don't know if I would call it challenges as such when it came to the children. Of course, with any and all children and all youth, there are times when someone acts out or someone acts differently, and you just go to that person. Sometimes it's just sitting and be quiet with that person. Don't say a word. Don't, just sit and be still and just let your presence be felt by that person, and let them know that you're there. And at the end of it, they get up, look you in the face, walk away, and you get up and you walk away. But something happened, healing happened, and not feeding anger with anger, things like that. It's I don't know. It's just so exciting when you're at the center and you're working with the children and youth. Yeah, please go on.
Okay, thank you very much. Yesterday when we were talking about food, when you said chopping, I assume that is chopping in Nigeria, that is eating. So what is your best food? I think it's out of question, but I just want to know. Since you said cooking is just your normal lifestyle and so on, I think you're a very good cook. What's your best food in South Africa?
Thank you. Did I miss a question there?
Yeah, I said, what is your best South African food?
Oh, that's so difficult. I make a mean South African biryani, which is slightly different from the Indian biryani. South African biryani is actually better, like so much more flavorful. No disrespect. I just do. And I also make, you guys have fufu. Kenya has ugali, we call it pap. I make the most amazing of those with different flavors, sometimes cheese, sometimes, I can cook a lot of things. I enjoy cooking. I'm just good. I take that.
Yes. How is fufu? So back to Joyce. Joyce, you have a question for Darice as well. So second.
Well, yeah, and before I ask our amazing Darice the next question, I must try the South African biryani. That's for you, Amiel. Anyway, our amazing Darice, your contribution to the Pass It On program have been really crucial, which is so appreciated by me personally. As you take on the role of guest for this episode, what experience and insight would you like to share with our listeners? What has motivated you to stay committed to this program, and how do you balance your hosting duties with your other responsibilities?
Well, thank you so much, Joycey. Thank you. Well, it's as a guest for this episode. I offered myself to be a guest. I told Aniekeme, please make me a guest. I want to be able to also speak. But what has made it fulfilling for me is I think there are some people that have gotten my number. There are people I've interviewed in the past and they've just texted me like, oh, I listened to this when you spoke with my sister. Oh my God, I enjoyed the episode. Da, 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 da. So it warms my heart. It's really heartwarming. So I think that's number one. And the next thing is when we started this pass it on. I remember when Carol told me that she wants me to be the one to do it. I freaked out because it's actually my first time. Um, I didn't know I didn't know what to do. She said it to me the first day I joined IHF, and I was like, is this how we do things here? I don't know. And I remember she told Aniekeme that she's not sure that I'll be able to do it, but she sees something in me at Aniekeme should speak to me. So Aniekeme just kept forwarding the chat to me. But at a point, I told myself, Darius, you have to do this. You have to get out of your comfort zone and just do something different. So I remember my first guest was Caesar. I didn't know. I know that the day before I prayed about it. I was telling God and the Holy Spirit to guide me. I learned a lot from speaking on YouTube. I learned I learned everything, basically everything from YouTube and TikTok. And when I heard Caesar on the show, he was really excited and he was very patient with me. So we kind of built. That was my first time meeting him, and he was really nice. He's still a nice person. Okay, so when we had it, I enjoyed it. I think it's more from enjoyment. So I enjoyed speaking to him, hearing him like he told me about Bali, his experience and how it happened and every what it has how it has shaped his life. So it was wow, I was like, wow, just it's really interesting listening to people and not like this is like first-hand information. I am experiencing this with him. It's first-hand. So I thrive for more. I told Carol that I'm going to have to do more. We're going to see how it is. So it's really fulfilling, honestly, to see our listeners and everybody connect with the stories that we bring. I hope that this all this content we are making can inspire and make a real difference in people's life. Now, how do I balance my hosting duties? It's not really that big of a deal because it's just once a week. So I'm already used to it now. It's like I can do it in my sleep, but at the same time, I'm still thriving to be perfect because I'm far from it. Sometimes it is challenging, but I know that the impacts we make makes it all worthwhile. So that's it.
Well, I, for one, dear Darius, I'm actually glad you requested to be a guest today because we get to hear like all these insightful points you have and your experience. So I'm really glad about that, be having you here and also for Amiel, of course. So, on to you, Abraham.
Thank you so much, Joyce, and thank you, Darius, for offering yourself to be our guest. All right, so how have IHS social media initiative raised awareness and made a positive difference? Can you share specific examples of the impact you've seen or heard?
Okay. I said that I am the impact, you are the impact, everyone in IHF, GLD are the impact because I remember when I joined, we were like five um GLDs. I'm not sure. I'm just giving like I think five, we're not much like this, but over time, look at how we are much more than five. So it's I think it's from there because IHF has done something to everybody. If you ask everybody now what they would want to say, there is no how you will not say that you have learned something unless you are a liar. But I'm sure everybody has learned one or two things, and it's some of them, it might not really be through the social media initiative, but I believe that all of us, some of us, majority of us, we got to know about IHF from either the website, either from any platform possible. So it's the I would say the impact on what I've seen or heard about might be me, you, and everybody. As for the art center, I have not been there yet, so I don't know, and I don't like speaking on things I don't know about. But I'm looking forward to seeing firsthand the positive change our efforts would have brought.
Thank you. That's really fantastic, Darice. Your work in leveraging social media for social good is truly commendable.
Thank you very much, Abraham and Darice, for that response. I think I began for your question. Amiel, I have a question for you. As someone who has been deeply involved with the Center GLD finances and training for references, what key insight have you gained about the financial and operational aspect of running a center and supporting the?
So let's start with the financial side of it. 1 + 1 = 2. If it equals anything else, there's something wrong and we need to look at it immediately. And that's actually been key throughout, even in other areas, in other organizations that I've worked in. Just that understanding that in finances, things must balance. I'm actually super pedantic. I go down to the last cent where I'm like, where is it? And never mind that it's pointless, but it's like 1 + 1 = 2. And I guess that kind of thing is what makes me good, and also makes me see patterns when it comes to finances. Sorry, what was the second part of the question? You asked about the finances?
Yes, I was asking how. I also asked how it was like the influence and the experience you have gathered on these positions you have done. How has it been? Like, what impact has it created in your life and also to the community?
So can I start answering this question by just going to what a GLD is, and just say that a GLD stands for Global Leadership Development. And the whole point of it is, as much as IHF cares about the children, it saw the need to develop future leaders that needed to be developed if this kind of work is to continue, and hopefully impact those people in their lives, whether they choose to work in a humanitarian environment or not. They would still have learned something beneficial about being a leader. And that's why the different experiences, and I think Darice is a good example of that, what she said about Carol just throwing her in the deep end, in faith and in belief, but then also supporting that growth and letting it go. Some people need a lot more hand-holding, while some people just get in the water and they start seeing how they can swim. But all of it is also the second the second part of IHF, not just at center, but also for all the volunteers, especially those that are part of the GLD, who are then part of the global leadership development. And from that point of view, that's an impact to the community. I mean, right now, I've got access to Nigeria, I've got access to Indonesia, I've got access to Kenya, I've got access to all these different countries, the UK, and all of us have different things to bring and different things to add, and all of us are being developed while learning skills, while learning and understanding for the various things. And that's a community right there. But then also on the physical ground level, the working with the various leaders in the community to try and bring the vision of IHF forward, to try and see how we can grow and make it beneficial, looking at the needs of that particular community and seeing what can we do in order to make this a little bit better, what can we do to push this forward. That has been my experience of being a GLD, and that's what the GLD theme and idea is about. That's what it's about.
Thank you very much, Amiel, for that response. Thank you very much for going deep explanation about GLD. You heard it right there, the listeners. Global leadership development, developing leaders for the future NGOs. Amiel, still on you. Could you share a particular memorable or challenging moment during your time, like as a GLD or director? Like what has been the challenge or any moments or memorable moments, and how the influence has influenced your approach to leadership and problem solving?
I think I'll take it back to the last time we had this. I mean, you interviewed me. Well, Darice was interviewing me, where Carol spoke about how I did not want to do good. And good is the online the search for more volunteers that IHF does, and that's how we get our GLDs and stuff like that. And it wasn't something that appealed to me. It's not something that I wanted to do. And I remember how Carol handled it. And somehow in that whole process, I ended up being the good team lead. I mean, like but an important thing that I learned there is that it's not that every night, and yet in that, if we are faced with something, and yeah, it wasn't a matter of I was forced to, that she forced me to, but she was like, okay, fine, how can we make it work for you? Would it be more possible? And we dealt with things, and we worked with it differently, and eventually we got to a place where it worked. And then she was like, you would actually be a great team lead for good because you don't like it. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And but anyway, I went along with it, and I was rather good with being a good team lead. I was amazed. I was like, I didn't know I had it in me, because I actually hated it so much. And what I got from that was that sometimes we face things that we don't like, and not that we end up liking them, but we still strive through that, and we can grow from that, and different things can be developed from that. And it created an even deeper sensitivity when working with people, in terms of understanding where people come from, in terms of understanding what psychological or emotional blockages they might have to something, and working with that, knowing what outcome is needed, and working with that to try and get the outcome that is needed without violating the person or making the person feel violated in any way. And that has been very beneficial for me working and now as a GLD team lead, working with so many people, just trying to understand. And I don't always get it right. Sometimes I fail so many times, but still striving to, and always trying to. And I think that's been one of the best lessons, not the only, but one of the best lessons that I've gotten from being a GLD.
Thank you very much, Amiel, for that. I think most of us here will say good is also part of our challenges as well as a GLD. But for the listeners who don't know what good is, he explaining that it's all about searching, posting our ads, looking for volunteers on the recruitment website. Over to you, Joyce.
Okay, our amazing Darice, this one is for you. What keeps you motivated to continue your work with the International Humanity Foundation, especially when facing challenges like integrating new team members who struggle with that?
Okay, Joyce, thank you for the question. I made reference earlier and I said that when I joined, I had been put in so many teams and I didn't know where to start from. I didn't know I only knew what the social media team was, but I realized that it's kind of different from what I do personally. So I was overwhelmed. I was very confused for 2 weeks. I was disturbing Aniekeme. What am I supposed to do? Give me task now. Tell me now. Every day. But he was very patient with me. I would tell this one, someone will refer me to this one, someone will refer me to this one. I'll go back to karaoke. I was just everywhere. But I think that if would I don't think I really regret how everything was back then, because if it wasn't like that, I don't think I would come to realize who I am and as a person. I don't think I would know to do everything that I do know to do in IHF. I think I would have just been stuck in one place. But the confusion and the overwhelming and everything at that time shaped me to be who I am today. Now when I see other people like new team members that just come in, and I am the team lead and co-lead of some teams, and I see them in the teams that I'm co-lead or team lead in, I always reach out to them because honestly, I really wish I had somebody reach out to me aside Aniekeme back then. So what I do is I know what they're feeling because I felt it. So I reach out to them, I ask if welcome them, set time for them and train them. Some of them I wouldn't really say, some of them now this like if they have any problem, I always tell them come to me. If you're confused or you don't know what to do, come to me. They text me sometimes by 11 p.m. If I'm awake, I respond to them. If I'm in the morning before I eat or something, before I shower, I see their message, I respond because I was once like them. So I I see them as I see myself in them. So how do I integrate them? I just help them, I mentor, I support them, I train them. I think I think everybody now, most people now, they're already used to what they're supposed to do, what their task is. So this one is like, if a team lead is listening to this, please, if anybody's added to your chat room, I don't think you should necessarily wait for them to reach out to you. I think you should reach out to them because sometimes they don't even know who the team lead is. They are really confused. Just teach them. Some people, I think Amiel said something along the line of some people are fast in learning, some people slow. It is what makes every human beautiful and special and unique, because everybody can't be the same. So reach out no matter how many times they want to be trained. Think patience is necessary, train them. Sometimes you would see that this person is good in HR more than media. I mean, if you spend time with them more, you would really know who fits which team more. And then they would not waste their time trying to learn or keep up with what they don't even like in the first place. So team leads and co-leads, teach your new team members. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's my answer.
Wow, Darius dear, thank you for what you do, especially for the new team members. I am motivated by what you said, and your commitment to the cause is inspiring and truly makes a difference.
Thank you very much, Joyce and Abraham. What an episode it has been. I don't know how to say thank you very much, Darius and Amiel also. We have a word from our grandma, Carol Sasaki. Amiel said the other time when he was answering 1 + 1 = 2. I think the hard work and the commitment to be putting in IHF is also equal to at least appreciation message from our grandma. So we want to make it an amazing thing for both of you. So Joyce will read the one for Darice, and Abraham will read the one for Amiel.
Thank you so much, Aniekeme. All right, Carol's word of appreciation for Amiel. Amiel, our amazing GLD lead, is wonderfully and splendidly human. He is honest and very firm with it, yet so soft. He does not jump to conclusions. He is always ready to settle and talk out issues first. He has learned an amazing art of pausing, listening, and watching. When he has complaints, he is able to dish them out very softly and respectably. He has admirable ethics and has an amazing way of wording what he wants to say. As a new GLD, when he was caught up in issues IHF was going through at the time, Amiel was able to meet with people personally and calmly listen, asking questions. Amiel is like a flowing river. He respects the human in every one of us. He does not have any need to be at the center of the drama or anything. He has a self that is independent on being needed by others, which is really a wonderful gift. He is a walker, a talker, will hold your hand, but will still want you to stand out separately from him. I've grown to learn a lot from him, and I love him dearly. That is the word from our Grandma Carol to Amiel.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abraham. Thank you so much, Carol. I appreciate and I feel valued. Thank you.
You're welcome,
Well, this is Carol's word of appreciation to, and I quote, my lovely Darice. Darice, our amiable media executive director, has done and is doing an incredible and mind-blowing job. The growth is outstanding. Since she joined, she has breathed life into teams that didn't have oxygen. She has organized volunteers so that they know what task and all they are to do. Darice is able to take innovative ideas and allow people to run with them. She's an awesome conductor of an orchestra in developing media of IHF. She has brought media from being an afterthought to a full-blown movement. She has the skills and gumption to take little things together and make them work. She has very practical, highly tuned skills. She pays a lot of attention to follow-up. This is worthy of emulation, as many, including myself, have to go a long way before learning this. But with Darice, it comes naturally. She understands that follow-up is important as the Big Bang itself. This is a skill and in skills she has that is very important, especially as a leader. Paying attention to and following up details are things that I didn't have to do. Spend time teaching her. All these, coupled with the compassion, empathy, and creativity, have made the awesome leader she is today. We are blessed to have Darice. Those are the lovely words of Grandma Carol to our lovely Darice.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Thank you so much, Ma. I'm happy to help. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Darice and Amiel. I would have done mine to you guys. That you guys have been amazing. I believe as much as the appreciation from Carol is only from Carol. We also appreciate both of you for the work you have put in for Amiel on the GOD side and for Darice on the media side. I know how many times I used to message Amiel. I think sometimes I call him unexpectedly. I call him in the night, something in the morning. I don't even care about the time zone. I used to disturb him very well to get the password for the teams, and also for Darice for getting the Passage podcast running for 6 episodes, being a host. We are very much privileged to have both of you. And I think also to our co-hosts, Abraham and Joyce. We want to do something special. We have Abraham and Darice from Nigeria. We have Joyce and Amiel from Kenya. Am I correct? Then I would like to know what is thank you from you, Abraham. What is thank you in your own side?
Okay, thank you. In my side here is Sosongo.
Okay, Sosongo Abraham for joining, for being a co-host of this magnificent episode. You have done well. I believe many of us in the podcast is also proud and the media team to have you. Then to Joyce, what of you? Sosongo Joyce, what of you? What is in Kenya?
Well, in Kenya, we say Asante sana.
Asante sana. Hope I got it right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Asante sana, Joyce, for being that amazing co-host on this special episode. You made your face appearance look so natural and wonderful. Thank you very much for partnering with me. And to Darice, is yours still Sosongo?
No, I'm in Lagos at the moment, so it is Eshe.
Okay, Eshe Darice for being a guest, and I know the next episode you return back as a host. For me, someone I used to disturb very well.
Okay. So my home language is Shangan and it's Nzakensa.
Okay, Nzakensa. I think I will need to write these things. I will Nzakensa. Hope I got it right.
Close enough.
Okay. Okay, Nzakensa Amiel for being that person. For IHF, for trustworthy, honesty, 100%, and for always being there for our wonderful organization and for us as well. And to you, the listeners, it is the time we draw the curtain. Nzasenza to the Kenyan listeners and Sosongo and Oshe. So Nzasenza to Amiel. Amiel, what was the tribe again? I've forgotten.
Shangan, Nzakensa.
Okay, to Shangali tribe, Nzakensa, to our listeners over there, and to listeners over Akwa Ibom in Nigeria, I think, Oshe and Sosongo too as well. Then Joyce, one more moment. What is it again?
Asante sana.
Asante sana to the Kenyans. Last week, you guys celebrated your independence, I think last week. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, our wonderful co-host. Thank you, our wonderful guests. And thank you, our backbone, the listeners over there. No matter the place you're joining, no matter the country you're joining, we are proud to have you as our wonderful listeners who have been turning in from the first episode through to the 7th episode. You have been carrying this podcast at your back. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Thank you for always being there with us. You know what to do. You know how to do it. Just type what we thank you in the region you are speaking, and we will revert back next episode, which is episode 8. You know how to do it. You on the YouTube channel, if you are listening on the YouTube channel, type in on your comment section on the Spotify discussion menu, and follow up the Passion's discussion on all our social media platforms, at Twitter at IHF Online, then at Instagram at IHF Online International Humanity Foundation, then on LinkedIn and YouTube as well as IHF Online. All on our website, IHF International Humanity Foundation, IHFOnline.org. My name still remains Aniekeme, and we have a wonderful co-host, Abraham and Joyce, who displayed simplicity and natural and wonderful aspect of podcast as should be, and our wonderful guests, Darice and Amiel. From here, we say thank you for joining and see you next week.